And good morning, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma, and this is what I call my morning musings. Pardon me. Good coffee this morning, really good coffee this morning. Hope you're having a great day. I'm sharing a few thoughts on hermeneutic. The art, the science of Bible interpretation. I am examining one particular practice that seems to be, it almost seems to be growing in popularity and appeal. Perhaps, pardon me, perhaps I'm just noticing it more lately, but I've been reading it in amillennial literature. For instance, Defense of Amillennialism by Kim Riddlebarger. It's in Kenneth Gentry, Gary DeMar, Joel McDermott, Keith Matheson of the Dominionist. I've been reading it in dispensational literature, and so it's a very, very common practice. And this practice, this hermeneutic, is really honestly practiced totally inconsistently. It seems that the amillennialists employ this principle when they want to attack the dispensationalists. The dominionists employ this tactic when they want to attack the dispensationalists, or I should say the dispensationalists attack the dispensationalists for using the principle, and then they turn right around and they employ this principle themselves. And here's the principle I am talking about. As I've already mentioned in an earlier segment, dispensationalists say the word church does not appear in Revelation chapter 4 through 22. Since the word is missing, the doctrine cannot be there. Now, of course, it's interesting right off the top of the bat that most dispensationalists are Trinitarian. And yet the word Trinity doesn't appear anywhere in the Bible, but they certainly agree that the doctrine is there. And no, I'm not trying to discuss the doctrine of the Trinity. I'm pointing out the hermeneutic principle that is being employed by people. On the one hand, they say, oh look, the word church is missing from Revelation 4 through 22. Therefore, the doctrine can't be there. Then they talk about the doctrine of the Trinity when it's pointed out that the word Trinity is not anywhere in the Bible. All of a sudden they say, oh, but that doesn't matter. The word doesn't have to be there as long as the doctrine is there. Do you see the inconsistency that I'm talking about? A slightly modified view, a slight variation of this hermeneutic principle, is saying, well, different words are used in this text from this text over here. So because different words are used, it must mean different doctrines are involved or different comings are involved. Kenneth Gentry says the coming of the Lord of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 was AD 70. The coming of the Lord in 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 is the end of the current Christian age. Why? Oh, because 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 uses the Greek word elthi, which is a conjugation from erkomai, and 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 uses the Greek word parousia. Well, as we'll see in an upcoming segment, that really is a fatal argument by Kenneth Gentry. But I want you to notice something, and this is from an article that I have posted on my websites. Do you realize? Now, again, the argument is being made, and is made by Gentry, DeMar, McDermott, and others. The use of different words from text to text demands different doctrines, demands different comings. Do you realize, as I state in this article, in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 through 5 and 2 Thessalonians chapters 1 and 2, do you realize 7 different words, 7 different Greek words are used to speak of the day of the Lord. The term that day, day of the Lord, Elthi, as we've noted, from erkomai, reveal, that is, apocalypsis, parousia, episynagoge, and epiphany. Okay. So, the argument is made, Gentry, DeMar, McDermott, oh look, we have different words in this verse from the words in this verse, therefore a different coming is under consideration. Are we supposed to take that principle and say, there are 7 different comings of the Lord in Thessalonians? Do you see the power of this? Do you see the inconsistency of this? If this verse uses a different word from this verse, it demands a different coming, according to Kenneth Gentry, DeMar, McDermott, etc., etc. But that demands that since there are 7 different words or terms used in Thessalonians to speak of the coming of the Lord, there must be 7 different comings of the Lord. These men don't believe that. Amillennialists don't believe that. Dispensationalists don't believe this. And yet, in an attempt to maintain their futurism, they are forced by the imminence of a given text, the pronouns of a given text, the context of a given text, to say, oh, well, this was obviously imminent in the first century. Well, let me see, how can I hold on to my futurism in these verses? And so what they do, they wind up ignoring the personal pronouns, they wind up ignoring the temporal imminence of the text based upon use of different words. In the very next segment, I'm going to illustrate, if I can find out how to insert a chart into the video. I did know about how to do that at one time, and I've forgotten. But if I can remember how to do that, and even if I can't, I'll share the information with you. But I'm going to demonstrate to you how all of these men, all millennialists, postmillennialists, dispensationalists, but the dominionists mostly, go to verses that contain totally different words, different elements, different motifs, and they say, oh, these are all the same coming of the Lord. They totally abandon the hermeneutic that says, oh, different words demand different comings. Folks, we're dealing with a huge hermeneutical inconsistency, hermeneutical fallacy here. And none of these men have been confronted with this fallacy, nor have they considered their own inconsistency, or so it seems, because they repeat it in almost all of their books. Well, thanks for joining me for this morning's Morning Musings. Appreciate it very much. We'll see you on the flip side.